What's up, OGs? Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Didn't forget to say it that time. Last video I uploaded, I guess I didn't say my intro, and you guys gave me shit for it. I think it was the most liked comment of calling me out for not doing my intro, so we're not going to forget to do that again. But as you guys can tell by the title, today's video is gonna be a little bit different. Never really done anything like this, but my favorite YouTuber. So this is something that I've actually been wanting to do for a while. The past couple weeks I've been making a list of all the YouTubers that I watch, trying not to forget of anyone, because I actually watch quite a bit of people. And I don't know, I think this is kind of important because most of all the media I consume, you know, is through YouTube. I don't really watch television at all. I don't watch like Netflix. Occasionally I'll watch Hulu and shit like that, but I would say like 95% of the time I'm watching something, it's YouTube. And just, I've learned so much from YouTube, whether it just be from learning how to do anything. I feel like you can pretty much learn how to do anything on YouTube, and just like entertainment wise. So this list is not going to be in any specific order. It's just a bunch of the different YouTubers that I watch. And the thing is, not even all these people I would label them as YouTubers. Some of these people just have a lot of content on YouTube, and they've, I guess, came up in different ways other than being YouTubers, and they just have YouTubes. But some of them are YouTubers. Either way, I just think the people that aren't necessarily YouTubers are still worth mentioning, because, yet again, gotta keep in mind, even though they may not be necessarily YouTubers, I've watched so much of their content on YouTube. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on with this video. I don't want to really ramble on any longer. Give you guys a quick update what's been going on recently. I know I haven't uploaded a lot, and it's like I don't want to complain because it seems like I'm always fucking saying that, but here's what's been happening. So for the past month I've gotten 3 strikes from YouTube, and they're all bullshit. Luckily I was able to get all of them removed. So if you don't know what happens when you get a strike from YouTube, I'll just say this: if you get 3 strikes, your fucking shit gets deleted. So that's bullshit, obviously, because every single time I get one of these strikes, it's for something that I didn't even do. So what happens when your channel gets a strike, I think this happens to everyone, it makes it so you automatically cannot upload for like a week. And that's happened 3 times, and I've had to go through the whole process of getting it removed, which means I gotta appeal it, I gotta try and contact creator support. It's just a whole big process, and I'm very thankful that I've been able to get all of them removed, but it's just been a hassle. And not only that, I just had my Instagram deleted, but thankfully I was able to get that back. It's just been a whole bunch of bullshit going on. It seems like it's that time of year again where they're just taking shit out. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm complaining, but I just kind of want to let you guys know what's happening. And one last thing I just want to address. I'm sure you guys can tell, for you guys who've been watching the channel for a while, the setup is completely fucking different. Trying to upgrade this shit. Let me know what you guys think. It's not done yet. I'm still, you know, in the process of doing everything. I'm about to build a computer for the first time, and I'm really fucking excited. So this is going to be like the new general setup where I'm filming my videos, so hopefully you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think. And that's about it. I just want to get into this video, but before, we got to smoke real quick. We got the Sovereignty, the what do you call this, the 180 grid. I actually just picked this thing up not too long ago. I think I've had it for like 2 weeks, and it's literally the same thing. This piece right here, just different colors. You guys can tell this one, let me get it to focus, this one is just red, has a little stain. I've been using this one for fucking a lot longer, like every day, but we're gonna be able to get that stain out, don't worry. So I'm loading up some GMO right now. This stuff is super fire. This is actually one of the first times, or I think the first time I've actually picked up the strain GMO, and it's fire. It just literally smells like funky onions, which doesn't really sound appealing, but you know, it's just, it's gas. When you're describing the smell of weed, I think it's a little bit different. Like when you say funky onions, it doesn't sound as gross as if like real funky onions, but yeah. Alright, I think it's focused. My eyesight's not the best, but I'm gonna take this. God, that hit got me. I think that was just the second smoke of the day, and it's fucking 6:30, which is probably a surprise to a lot of you. So like I said before, this list is really going to be in no specific order, and for the reason of they're all pretty much unique. It's hard to categorize like 1 through 10 or whatever and just say this one's better than this one. You know, at the end of the day, their content is so different that you really can't compare, you know, this person to this person. So It's in no specific order. I just made a list and I'm going to go down the list. And aside from all these people being really unique and having really good content, I think they all have really good character, which is really fucking important. Not only just in all aspects of life. And that's one thing that I just really value is character. They're not pieces of shits, but there's a lot of pieces of shit on YouTube who just, I don't think have good character and just aren't good people. When you have a lot of people who support you, you shouldn't take advantage of them, and I think if you do that, you're just a piece of shit. So that's one thing I respect, if you have good character and you're just a good person. And I'm not here to like call anyone out or like bash anyone, but if you like have a brain, it's just easy to see who's fucking trying to milk their supporters for everything and who's just generally a good person, has good character, making good content, and just, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but all in general a good person with good character, and that's something I really respect. So the first person on the list is Penguin0, also known as Critikal. And the funny thing is, out of all the people on this list, I'm pretty sure I've been watching him the longest. I'm not sure. So Penguins, in my opinion, is just fucking hilarious as shit. He makes great content and he's very consistent. I think he has great character and he's just real. Like, he's not afraid to fucking tell you the truth.
This dude's Twitter is fucking nuts. It seems like he's completely separated himself from even the most basic level of humanity. It's like he went so deep into the cosmos that he popped out of the universe's asshole, saw a bunch of shit that he didn't like, re-entered the universe's butthole like a finger during a prostate exam, and now he's just a weird Twitter lunatic.
And that's something that I really fucking respect. And when I first found his channel, I think I was like a freshman in high school. I think this was 2013 or 14, I'm not exactly sure on the year, but my older brother actually showed me this channel. So I remember my brother was downstairs watching YouTube on the big TV, and it was Penguins. And like I said, at this time I had no clue who he was. This was when I like first discovered who he was. And the funny thing about Penguins is too, as well, is I don't know when he did a face reveal, because if you go on his channel, most of all his videos that you're gonna see recently are just like, he has a camera and you can see his face, but for the longest time he was just doing like gaming content, not like normal gaming content. What I remember he used to do, is he sometimes still does it too, is he'll find the most obscure video games videos or just like the most complete random shit that you would like never find on the internet, and he would play them and he would have his voice over it, and the way that his voice sounds, it's like very monotone, and the shit that he says is just, in my opinion, just fucking hilarious. Every time I would watch it, it would just crack me up. But yeah, it was just crazy, because for the longest time I was watching him, I always wondered, like, what does this dude look like? And he just didn't fucking show himself for the longest time, and when he finally did, like, it was just crazy. So yeah, when I first discovered Penguins, when my brother was watching him downstairs, this was before he, if you'd, like I said, go on his YouTube, before he even showed his face, and he was just doing nothing but fucking gaming content. It was just hilarious. So I actually remember the video. I'm not sure what the title is, but I'm gonna try and find it, that I was watching, or that my brother was watching when I discovered it, and he was playing some game where I think they were on a cruise ship, and you had to just do all these like weird fucking tasks, and it was just fucking hilarious. And this was quite a long time ago, so you know, it's hard to remember a YouTube video that I watched from that long time ago, but it was definitely significant enough, because right when I watched that, it made me like want to keep watching him and like, you know, subscribe to him. And the content he makes now, I wouldn't even really know how to describe. It's just kind of all around. Most of them are, he has a camera set up and he'll just kind of like talk to you, and each video will have a different topic. Sometimes he'll be doing something fucking stupid or hilarious. And what he also does is go on like the weird side of YouTube, where you're gonna find a bunch of fucking weird YouTube videos. I'm sure you guys have all been there, and he'll just watch it and just, you can see his reaction, and I just think it's fucking hilarious watching that. But what he also does is find the most cringy, like piece of shit YouTubers who just are pieces of shits and just roast them, exposes them, and I think it's the funniest video. And I don't know, you can say it's drama, you can say it's this and that, but every single video that I think he's made about someone, I think it was justified. Like, I don't think it should go unnoticed if you're a piece of shit and you're just using your supporters, you know. I think you should be called out for that. So, and if Penguins makes a video about you, it's like, chances are you're a piece of shit and you're probably not gonna have anything to say back to him. Like, that's just the real situation. So I think that's pretty much it for Penguin. He's just an all-around really funny guy, genuine, has character. I like that he calls people out, and his fucking voice, if you just go on his channel and listen to his voice, is just a fucking show of itself. I love it. So next favorite YouTuber on the list is PsychedSubstance, and what he does is he makes educational content on psychedelics, so I would call it like harm reduction content. It's very helpful, you know, if you're someone who's deciding to, you know, start playing around with psychedelics, or I wouldn't call it playing around, but if you're someone who's deciding like, I'm gonna take this specific drug or substance or whatever, you know, usually when someone makes that decision, no one's gonna tell them not to, and I think just him putting out his videos like, look, if you're gonna do this, here's how to take it properly, I think that's great. I'm not condoning you guys to go out and take drugs. I gotta say this all the time because YouTube wants to fuck with me. He just makes great harm reduction content and educates you and pretty much tells you almost everything, you know, you need to know about the substance, you know? And I think he does a great job because psychedelics are just one of those things that I think is like a huge mystery to us, and I think he does a great job of, you know, educating us and just telling us what he knows, because at the end of the day, no one knows everything, but I think he does a great job, if you get what I'm saying. I'm sure as you guys can tell by my Alex Gray wallpaper and blanket, tapestry, whatever, of course I'm a fan of PsychedSubstance. And like I was just saying with Penguins, how I've been watching him for a really long time. Same goes with PsychedSubstance. I'm not sure which one longer, doesn't really matter, but I've been watching him for a really long time actually, but I think when he first started his channel, I remember the video was like drunk versus mushroom. It was actually a really cool video comparing what someone's like being drunk versus shrooms, and obviously drugs affect everyone fucking differently. I'm not gonna educate you guys go watch his channel, but the video was him being drunk on one day versus being on shrooms one day, and then what they had him do was do a bunch of different tasks, and then they compared what it was like him doing the task drunk versus being high. And from what I remember, that was like his first video on his channel. I think I could be wrong, and I remember watching it. I don't think I watched it when it first came out, but I've been watching him for a while, and I can easily say I've learned so much to him, and I gotta, like, you know, give a big thank you to him because when I was, what year was this? I think I was a sophomore in high school. For my first time ever, you know, taking a psychedelic, I took mushrooms. I watched so many of his videos. I watched so many of his psychedelic, or mushroom specifically, content, and it really helped me and informed me on how to safely take mushrooms. I'm not telling you guys to do this once again, but this is just what happened with me, and that's just one thing I'll always like thank him for, because it's just something that have changed my life, and I really can't thank him enough because mushrooms, if, you know, taken properly and done right, it can really help you. And I'm not telling you guys to go do this once again, but this is just me personally. It's really helped me, and that's, you know, why I want to thank him for that. And then also a substance that I took that I learned a lot from him is DMT, which is fucking insane. If any of this type of stuff interests you and you don't know about DMT, or if you do, I would just suggest looking into it, or looking more into it. It's just fucking crazy. But before I did DMT for the first time, I watched same thing with mushrooms. I watched so many of his DMT content and harm reduction videos on DMT just so I could try and have the best experience. And let me tell you, DMT is, I'm not gonna fucking make this a DMT video, but it's like one of the most hardest things I think to like explain the experience of just when you take the substance, and I think he does a great fucking job of explaining it, you know. So does Terence Mckenna, which I'm going to talk about him later. But then not only that, it's just his harm reduction content. I can't imagine how many people he's saved simply by his videos on informing people, you know, and how many people he's helped. Like, he's helped me, and, you know, he has, I believe, way more subscribers than me, so I already know that he's helped so many fucking people, and that's fucking great to me. Because at the end of the day, when someone decides they're gonna take a drug, they're gonna fucking do it. But yeah, just in general, really good guy. He makes great content. His harm reduction content has saved so many people. He's a good guy, and you can tell he's just really trying to help all these people. So big ups to PsychedSubstance, definitely a favorite YouTuber of mine. Shout out to him. And then one last thing before I move on to the next person, he also has another channel called Swim. I believe if you search that, it should pop up, because I think he has enough subscribers for it to just be the first choice. So not only he makes a lot of good videos surrounded around the topic of psychedelics, he makes a lot of other really good videos on just other topics of just, what would you call it, like those deep questions about life or whatever. Alright, so the next person, this is actually not even a YouTuber, I just have found a lot of their content on YouTube. Rest in peace, Terence Mckenna. I figured I'd talk about him next since we're on the topic of psychedelics, and the reason I want to mention him is, even though, like I said, he's not a YouTuber, he has personally helped me in fucking so many different ways. He's just a very smart, well-spoken guy, and along with PsychedSubstance, he makes, or he doesn't make videos. A lot of the videos on YouTube of Terence McKenna speaking are just I don't know where these people find him, but just like old videos of him just talking. Terence Mckenna, when you search him, most of his videos are going to be surrounded around the topics of like psychedelics, and me personally, mushrooms and DMT. Those are the ones that they're most relevant to me, so those are the videos I've watched from him. You just go and watch these videos, and if this is something you're interested in, I'm sure you'll like him. It's just, he does a very, very, very great job of talking about these different things, and that's why the reason I have so much respect for it is because, like I said earlier, these things are very hard to explain. There's such a fucking mystery to us, and not only that, most of the talks and videos are really fucking old, from like the 70s, I think the 60s and 80s and all. Just fucking, he's been talking about this shit, and you guys know from, if you're not familiar with the war on drugs, like no one was talking about acid or LSD, mushrooms, DMT all back in the day, and it's just like, dude, he's a fucking soldier for that. Like, if you could think, he was just like the only one talking about these experiences, and not only that, he was just so spot on. Like, he's just a very well-spoken, smart guy. Rest in peace, Terence Mckenna, and I think he definitely he left his mark on this earth. Definitely a great guy. And let me tell you what, like, one of my most favorite things about him, when you listen to him explain the DMT experience, he does such a great job because, like I said, it's just something so hard to explain, especially with DMT. There's nothing you can really relate to in this world. My computer just has a mind of its own. 1 second. He's literally talking about the unknown. It's just something that if you know anything about DMT, or if you've had the experience, it's just something it's so hard to explain, and there's really nothing that you can relate it to. So the fact that, he's able to do such a great job of at least kind of paint a picture of what it's like, I have a lot of respect for that. And then just also the fact that he's been so consistent with it, talking about it through all the years, and like I said, he left his mark. The dude is smart as shit. And then I know that he's generally focused around talking about psychedelics, but he talks about a lot of other things, of just different things in life that, I think he can give you great advice on, and he's just a very smart, intelligent guy. So if this kind of stuff interests you, I would definitely go look up Terence Mckenna. Like I said, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. You're just going to find a bunch of different videos of him talking, but it's great content, I think. I normally don't pick up my bong, but let's give you guys a little better shot. Come on now. I've learned that sometimes when the bull gets stuck, you just gotta pull the ash catcher. So the next YouTuber that's going to be on the list is Stephan. And for all you guys who don't know who he is, he makes videos about personal financing, investing, real estate, just, kind of shit like that, credit cards. And I'll just say this, one of the reasons I really like him right up front off the bat is because if you're going around on YouTube and looking for like financial advice or anything to do with that, you're going to find a bunch of fucking scumbags, people who you can just tell, at least I can, that are fake as shit and just want to try in some way fuck you over or sell you some sort of bullshit, like, fucking course or whatever, I don't know. So I'm not going to talk about all the other shitty YouTubers. I'm not saying that every other person who makes videos like that is shitty, but I can just tell that he stands out and he's genuine, and that's just one thing I can really appreciate about person, just being genuine. So you guys are probably wondering, what is Raw OG doing watching videos about credit cards, real estate, and saving money? And believe it or not, that stuff actually interests me. I think that having your finances in order is something that's like really important part of your life, and so many different things stem from that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that money is everything, but you get what I'm saying. It's just something that's very important, and this is someone that I think gives really great advice on so many different things. Like, if you go watch his channel, you can find videos like regarding all those different topics like real estate, credit cards, saving money. You can find so many different videos, and he's given a lot of great advice. Whether it comes to building credit, ways to save money, experiences with his personal life, and just all sorts of things. He's a real estate agent. Just, if you guys should go check out his channel. But yeah, just like I was saying before, having your finances together and good credit and all that stuff, and just, trying to set yourself up for the future, I think is something really important. And especially if you're young, it's something that you can be ahead of a lot of people because it's something that's not really taught in school. So for me personally, I can say he's helped me a lot. I've followed through with a lot of his advice, and the thing is, I've only been watching him for not that long. I'd say it's been like a few months. I remember the first video I actually found from him. I'll get into that in a sec. But I've been able to implement a lot of his advice and strategies into my my habits in my life, and I can definitely see the improvement starting. And a lot of the things that he tells you are not only gonna help you short term. Like I said, I'm already starting to see improvement, but it's really gonna help set you up for the future. So a lot of it's also long term as well. So I mean, shit, maybe in 30 years when I make another video, maybe I'll talk about him and thank him if I'm a fucking millionaire. So how I found Graham Stephan, I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I do remember it came up on I recommended, and I remember it was a video about a Las Vegas mansion, and he was walking through it, and it just really caught my eye because, as most of you guys know, I live in Las Vegas, and seeing a fucking, I don't remember how many fucking $1 million it was, but it was like a huge fucking multi-million-dollar mansion walkthrough, and he was walking through it, and from there, I just started clicking on his videos and going through there. And I'm sure as you guys can relate, once you find someone on YouTube that you like, you start clicking through their videos, and like, I don't just subscribe to someone right away. I'm kind of picky, I have to watch a good amount of their videos, and if I watch a good amount of their videos, I look at their channel, I can see that, okay, this is someone that's good, I'll definitely subscribe to them because I'm gonna want their videos in my subscription feed. And that pretty much happened within like a few hours of just like, after that I was hooked. I was watching so many different of his videos, and I was like, I have to subscribe to this guy. I feel like this is something I need in my life. And the funny thing is, like I was saying, the video that I first found him in was like a mansion walkthrough, and sometimes he'll do that on his channel and go around and show you like multi-million mansions and properties and shit like that. Pretty much all of his video consists of him being in his garage in his homemade studio, just talking to the camera, kind of similar to like what I'm doing, except I'm in my room and just talking to his viewers. And most of his content is all pretty much advice, and like I said from the start, it's not like he's trying to fuck you over, he's trying to sell you out in some way. I do know he has a real estate course. I don't do real estate. It's maybe something I'll do in the future, and actually the only reason I even know he has a course, because it's not like he mentions it in all of his videos like, follow my course, fucking give me your money, is because he did a video talking about I think it was a YouTube ad that he had placed, which was a which I think it consisted of him in a Lamborghini. I don't exactly remember. And then he went on to talk about his like real estate course and like why exactly he made that ad. But yeah, so that was the first video that I found from him, and after that I just watched a lot of his videos and been able to implement a lot of his advice. I still need to, do a lot more of that, but he's just a fucking genuine guy, and I can just really appreciate someone who's just genuine, has good character, and they're trying to help, just help their supporters out and just make great videos in general. So yeah, Graham Stephan's the man. So if any of that sounds like something that interests you, I would definitely go check out his channel for sure. Alright, so the next person I'm going to talk about is not really a YouTuber once again, but they do have a YouTube channel and they post all the time, and that's Joe Rogan. I'm sure you guys all know who fucking Joe Rogan is. He's been a thing for a while. I remember when he was doing Fear Factor way fucking back in the day. But I'm sure you guys all know Joe Rogan from UFC and his podcast. That's obviously what I'm going to talk about, is his podcast. And I know it's kind of different because it's a podcast, but with the podcast you get to learn a lot about him. I've watched hours and hours of his content, whether it be I'm in my room sitting here watching it on the screen, or a lot of the times whether I'm driving, I take a lot of trips to California, or I'm cleaning in my room, I'll just have his shit playing. So I've listened to him a lot and I've got to know a lot about him. I'm not saying I'm like a crazy Joe Rogan fanboy and I know everything about him, but just from watching his content and listening to him, like from Joe Rogan, a person of himself, I think he's a very like smart, well-rounded individual. He's very open-minded, and he's not egotistic. There's a lot of ways you can watch Joe Rogan and look at him, and I think just look up to him. I think that he's just a good guy, He's just someone you can look at and tell right away that he's someone who works very hard, he's smart, he's genuine, and he's just a good guy, I think. And his podcasts are just great. I think not only having him as the host of talking to people, he's had so many different types of people come on the podcast where you can learn so much different shit by just watching the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, I'll tell you what, I've said this before, I've probably learned more in my life, as far as like how to do things and just different things about life, like there's a lot of things you learn in school I think are important, but I think I've learned more from watching Joe Rogan than I have in school. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there is so much I've learned. He's had so many different people who are so fucking smart about whatever they're talking about come on that show and just fucking spit knowledge. And he also does a great job of, you know, conversating with whoever he has on there. You know, he doesn't like interrupt them. He lets people speak their points. You know, he's just like, it's just great to watch. So yeah, I've learned so much from watching his podcast, and it's just entertaining. You know, like I'm sure like a lot of you guys fucking watch Joe Rogan podcast. So not really much else to say about him. I don't want to go into super detail, but definitely something worth watching. If you guys like podcasts, or you just like learning about just different shit, or just listening to people talk, his shit or his channel is like perfect. I think he definitely has one of the best podcasts out there. I don't really watch any other podcasts. His, I would say, is like number one. So next YouTuber, I figured I'd do this one next because it's kind of similar to Joe Rogan's content, except it's not a podcast and it's not Joe Rogan, it's Andrew LAHWF. And if you guys don't know who that is, he does this, what he's been doing recently is this chatting with series where he'll get a person, like something about them, like I don't know, like I've seen he'll get someone, I don't know why I can't think right now exactly of all the people he's chatted with, so I'm gonna look it up real quick and just so I can start naming shit off, just so you guys can get an idea. Chatting with an athlete, chatting with a professional Fortnite coach, I'm just going through his most recent videos. Chatting with Kayak Slide Dad, I don't know what that is. Chatting with a 29-year-old multimillionaire, that's actually Stephan, who I was just mentioning, one of my favorite YouTubers. And it's cool because I've actually found a lot of cool different YouTubers and just different people through watching these. Chatting with an ex-convict, chatting with my father, so you get the picture. He just talks with different people, you know, like what you would label them as, I don't know. And the reason I like Andrew is because he's just so fucking mellow and laid back, and he just has a personality that if you watch his content or his videos, he just has a personality that's very like, it's worth watching. And then another thing, like one of the most important things about a YouTuber is I think that he's very fucking genuine, and his character is like very fucking solid. I've actually seen a few interviews where he'll get someone and they might say something weird, or they might be like avoiding a question or being a little weird, you know what I'm saying, just being a little sketch, and he'll just like sit there with the most like blank face and just keep like, he's very subtle about it. It's like passive aggressive. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying that he's like a dick or anything, but it's like if someone's being fucking weird on the show, or someone's just doing something weird, it's just kind of funny how he like addresses it in a very subtle way. But I'm sure you guys can tell I like learning about a lot of different shit, and I learn a lot about YouTube. And when he has all these chatting with of different people, you just learn a lot of different stuff. And then Andrew's just a fucking funny guy. I think he's a genuine, hilarious dude. And it's crazy because I'm pretty sure he used to do a lot of like prank videos, which I'm not really a big fan of. I'm really happy that he took his channel and put it in another direction of this. I think this is a lot better, but I'm pretty sure he used to do a lot of those like public pranks where he'd go out and just, you know, fuck with people and just do different types of shit. But shout out to Andrew LAHWF for his chatting with series. I think it's definitely something worth mentioning. Definitely a favorite YouTuber of mine. I watch him all the time. Whenever he has a video in my subscription feed, you know, always watch it, you know. Except for that one Kayak Slide Dad. I don't know what the fuck that was. So this next one, I was debating putting this one on my list, but definitely worth mentioning because this shit is just fucking hilarious. 25 Buttholes is the name. You guys are probably wondering, like, what type of YouTuber would go by the name of 25 Buttholes? And it's this guy who makes RuneScape content. For all you guys who don't know, I play RuneScape. It's a game that I fuck with, and it's something that's a part of my childhood. It's just a great game that I play. And he makes, by far, I think, the funniest fucking RuneScape content. Call me a fucking nerd or whatever, but if you're into RuneScape, or I don't know really how to explain his type of humor, you just kind of have to go see it for yourself.
Take a look at this reptilian who thinks he wants smoke with the Granite Warlock. Say goodnight, you Hillary Clinton chat. I hope you realize that challenging the Granite Warlock was the biggest mistake you have ever made in your entire pathetic life. Ha 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 ha. Wow. He's probably thinking that he's actually about to kill me, but this clown is about to see how quickly the tables can turn on old school RuneScape. You see these tables, little Billy? Now they have been turned. That's why they call them turntables, you little dumbass.
Like, I guarantee you would fuck with it. Like, especially if you play RuneScape and you like his type of humor. It's kind of one of those things where I've shown a few people and they watch it and they're just like, what the fuck? But anyone who plays RuneScape has to fucking watch that shit. And like, the thing is about this YouTuber, why I was almost like debating mentioning him, is like, I don't know the dude personally. Well, it's not like I know all these YouTubers personally, but there's no face to him, there's no voice to him. This dude uses a text chat or like a text voice for all his fucking videos. But it's just so fucking hilarious that it's definitely worth mentioning. And for this one, I don't want to explain it too much because I don't know how much percent of you guys play RuneScape, so I don't want to like explain RuneScape when you guys don't even play and not even understand what I'm talking about. But I'll try and make it easy for everyone to understand. He just goes around in the game pretty much and fucks with people and trolls people in the funniest way possible. And it's just hilarious, you know. Like I said, I'm not going to go into exactly what he does, but if you like that type of shit, you should definitely check it out. Alright, so next person on the list. I really wouldn't consider this person a YouTuber, but they do have a lot of content on YouTube, and that would be Jordan Peterson. The reason I like Jordan Peterson is just because this dude, if any of you guys don't know who he is, just fucking, you need to go look him up. Jordan Peterson is just a solid dude. He gives some of the best advice about so many different things, and a lot of it's usually directed towards an audience of young males. I'm not saying that that's all his audience, but so I'm not saying you gotta be a young fucking male to watch his videos, but he just, a lot of the advice that he gives hits home very deep. I don't exactly remember when I found Jordan Peterson, but I could say I've been watching him for at least a couple years, and life, you're gonna go through shit, you're gonna have struggles, you're gonna have hard times, and Jordan Peterson is like the man there to just be that backbone to give you great advice and help you get through shit. If any of you guys know who he is or know a little about him or watch some of his content, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I cannot tell you how much advice that, you know, he's said on his channel that I've applied into my life that has helped me tremendously. That's like one of the dudes that I can say straight up has changed my life. I know this is something I don't talk a lot, and it's something obviously I try to avoid. Like, no one wants to go on the internet and just complain and talk about, you know, their hard times and whatnot, but, you know, I've been through it, and, you know, I'm not here to say that I have it the worst. There's so many people who have it so much worse than me, and I'm so blessed where I'm at, but I've gone through some tough shit, and I cannot tell you how many times where I've just gone to watch his content, and listening to him talk is like being the only thing making sense to me. So yeah, he's helped me get past a lot of my dark times, and not only that, even when you're doing well, he helps you, you know, to stay on track and to keep going and to keep moving forward. So not only he's had a huge impact on my life and able to help me, and I'm sure he's been able to help so many others, and you can tell when you watch him or when you listen to him that everything he's doing is coming straight out of the heart, and he's just a fucking real genuine person. I know I keep saying that word genuine throughout this because all these people that I'm trying to name here besides the 25 Buttholes, like I said, I don't really know much about him. Everyone that I try and pick out is very genuine, and just with Jordan Peterson, he's definitely fucking up there. He's just a fucking great dude. You can tell that he's doing what he does because he truly wants to help, and like, I respect that. And like I keep saying, he's helped me and get through some dark times and whatnot. I can't imagine how many other people he's helped, you know. It's just fucking insane what the internet can do nowadays. Like, we're in a crazy time. It's like the age of information. You could literally go on the internet, even like, not even just YouTube, you can just go on the internet and pretty much find out how to do anything or get advice about anything. And like, a funny thing to mention is I'm not a fucking reader. I don't buy books, and I actually bought one of his books. I don't remember what it's 10 Rules to Life, 15 Rules to Life. I bought it not too long ago. I need to fucking read it, but what I'm getting at is I bought his book, and I'm not a fucking reader. Normally, I'm always watching podcasts and shit like that. I'm not saying that's the same as reading, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I bought one of his books because I just think that not only I want to support him, I just think that that book probably has so much fucking things that that'd be very useful. So if any of you guys are going through it, which we all do, I would suggest going and watching Jordan Peterson's content because he's a very intelligent man, and he was able to help me in some of my darkest times, and I think that he could help you too if you're going through something. And it's not like you can only watch him if you're like going through it, you know. He also gives a lot of just great advice on just how to generally become a better person, how to succeed in life. You know, that's the one thing I really like about him. A lot of his videos pretty much consist of the topic of becoming a better person. I think that's something that everyone should try to do. I think you should try and become a better person each and every single day. So I got so much love for Jordan Peterson. Like I said, he's definitely worth mentioning. He's not a YouTuber where he has a YouTube channel, but he has a lot of content on YouTube that you guys can go find. So shout out to Jordan Peterson for sure. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next YouTuber, and the next YouTuber is going to be Xcodeh. What's up, Cody? Hope you're watching this. If you are, it's the homie. So I'm sure if you guys are watching me, you guys have to know who Xcodeh is. We both make videos surrounded around the topics of the marijuanas. But if you don't know who Xcodeh is, his main style of videos is storytelling, which I think he does a fucking great job of, and they're very entertaining. I've actually been watching Xcodeh for a very long time. He's another one of the YouTubers that I could say I've been watching for a very long time before I actually created my channel. I think when I first started smoking weed, so Cody is an OG in my eyes. But yeah, if you go on his channel, you're just gonna see most of his videos are just life stories from his past, and they're fucking very entertaining. Like I said, I'm sure most of you guys have already watched his videos, but if you haven't already, they're fucking sick. And what Xcodeh does is just talk about all his, whether it be just crazy experiences regarding around usually weed or just different shit that's happened throughout his life that's like worth telling. And not only the stories are always very interesting, Cody's just very good at telling the stories, you know, like I think he's a very good storyteller. I think that's like a trait that he has. There's some people who can just tell good stories and really keep you intrigued the whole time. I can't tell you guys how many times, whether I'm just sitting here watching YouTube or I'm just letting a video play back in the background where I'm listening to an Xcodeh life story, because they fucking make me laugh and they're just fucking entertaining. And you know, he does some other content too, but most of it's, you know, focused around life stories and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to Xcodeh. I actually haven't met him in person. Hopefully maybe one time we can meet, but you know, I've talked to him like, you know, online. He seems like a very fucking nice guy. He seems very genuine, and just watching his videos, like I said, I've been watching him for quite a long time. I can tell he's a genuine dude, you know. Like there's no doubt in my mind at all. He's just one of those YouTubers that after you watch for a while, you just like his personality. It's someone that you can relate to, at least I can, and it's just someone that you can respect because they're genuine and they have good character. And I mean, come on, who doesn't like sitting back smoking a bowl to hearing a fucking crazy story from Xcodeh? So if you guys don't know who he is, you guys gotta go check him out. If that sounds like something that interests you guys, much love to the homie Xcodeh. I hope one day maybe we can hang out sometime and smoke, or maybe even do a video, but who knows? Alright, and since we're kind of on the topic of weed content on YouTube, believe it or not, I actually don't really watch a lot of quote-unquote weedtubers or people who smoke weed on YouTube or whatever. And that next YouTuber is going to be Dope as Yola. So I can't exactly remember when I found him and started watching his videos, but I figure it's probably been like 5 months or so for, I really don't even know. One video he'll be telling a life story, which I'm sure you guys can tell I'm a fan of life story videos, unless you're fucking lying and just bullshitting about shit, which I'm not saying he is. Like I can, you know, when you watch someone tell a story, you can usually tell if they're lying or not. Not saying I'm an expert lie detector, but dude seems pretty fucking genuine to me. So yeah, he does like life stories and vlogs and just kind of, you know, smoking videos and shit like that. And like the main reason I like him is because he pops out from a lot of the different people who smoke weed on the internet. You know, he's real as fuck, and you can tell that he's not a sellout. When you watch his videos, you can tell there's a lot of work that goes into it, and that's something that I can definitely respect as a creator, especially because we make, you know, similar content. And like another thing, since we're both YouTubers and make weed content, I like the way he's moving. I like the way that he's going about his come up, and he's not just like blowing up for no reason. It's obviously all well deserved. He's blowing up for a reason. And what I mean by I like the way he moves, like not only he's a genuine dude, he's making moves out here, you know, like he just made a new fucking strain and sold that shit out in dispensary. And if any of you guys know me, like a fucking dream of mine is to be able to grow and just be able to do something like that. Like honestly, how sick is that? How sick would it be to have your own strain with your own genetics and have that go in a dispensary, and then not only that, fucking sell out? Like huge props to him for that shit. That's just something that I would love to do, and when I see someone like making moves like that, it just fucking makes me happy for them. So shout out to Dope as Yola for sure. I see him putting in work not only in his videos, just in all other aspects of life. Like I like the way he's moving. So be sure to go check out Dope as Yola. I'm sure if you guys watch me, you guys probably already know who Dope as Yola is anyways, but if you don't, be sure to go check him out. So I believe we got 3 more that I haven't said here on the list. So for the next one, I'm gonna do TechSource. TechSource is a YouTuber who makes video about technology. obviously, TechSource. So he actually makes a bunch of different videos regarding like technology and all that shit, but the reason why I'm actually mentioning him is because of his series called Setup Wars. So Setup Wars is a series on his channel where he basically has a bunch of people send him videos and pictures of their, you know, their current setup. Would you guys look at that? This is my first video with my new setup, and can you guys guess what inspired me to make this setup? Like, I spend so much time in my fucking room, like this is my man cave, and I was just getting tired of my old setup, you know, like it wasn't bad, but like after watching that Setup Wars series, dude, I was like, dude, I need to bring my shit to the next level. Like, this is something that I think would be a great investment. So I literally went out and got a new desk. This is actually custom made by me. It didn't really take that long to make. And look, it's not even fucking done yet. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I still have a lot to do. Like, you can get the general idea, but I'm gonna have, you're not gonna be able to see any wires. I'm gonna have the cable management on fucking point. And this is like my first time really trying to go all out on a setup, you know, like I'm trying to make sure that everything is perfect. So like I said, I just gotta build my PC, and then I gotta set it up, make sure everything's perfect, and make sure all my cable management is nice. But that's really what inspired me to make this fucking setup itself. So I definitely thought that it was worth mentioning in this video. And I actually found his channel, I would say no longer than, I would say it's been probably 1 month, and after a month of watching his YouTube channel, this is what we have now, which I was dedicated. After watching all of his, I didn't watch every single Setup War video, but after watching so many different cool setups, like if you guys are into gaming or just cool, you know, setups like this, I'd definitely go watch it. But after watching so many different videos of seeing all these cool setups, I literally had to fucking make mine. And who knows, I think it'd actually be really cool to be on the Setup Wars maybe sometime in the future, but that's maybe an if. Like, I'm sure so many people submit videos, but I wouldn't even submit a video until I have it, you know, all pretty much done. I would have to build my PC first. And I've never built a PC before. I just want to get that across. You guys are probably wondering, like, you can build PCs? Well, I'm going to try, and I'm pretty sure I've watched quite a few different YouTube videos, and it's something that I'm just setting my mind to, and there's a lot of different people that can do it, and I feel like I can do it if you just have all the right tools and the parts, and you got a video telling you what to do. I feel like it's something that at least I should be able to handle. So yeah, first time really trying to make a setup like this, and that's really shout out to Setup Wars for really inspiring me to do all this. So yeah, you guys can go thank TechSource for the new inspiration for building the new setup and just kind of setting it up like this. But yeah, I definitely had to mention him. Like I said, he does a fucking plethora amount of different other videos on his channel, and I don't really watch those. I only watch the Setup Wars, but like I said, it was worth mentioning just for the sole reason of he inspired me to make this fucking setup what it is, or at least what it's going to become. You guys you get the idea. It's going to look a lot better. So the next YouTuber on the list is going to be H3H3. I'm sure a lot of you guguys fucking know who H3H3 is. He's fucking big. He's I would consider a very big YouTuber, but I've been watching him for quite a long time actually. I can remember the first time I actually found out about him. I used to watch that fucking dude Leafy. I don't know if you guys remember that dude Leafy who made those videos where he would just talk shit and make fun of people, and this was like years ago, but I remember he got into some like altercation with H3H3, and I had no idea who he was at the time. He made a video about him, and then I went over to H3H3's channel and fucking liked him. Like, how often do you watch a video where someone on YouTube is trying to expose someone for something and you go on the other person's channel and actually like them? You know, I actually went on his channel and found that dude actually wasn't a bad guy, and he actually seemed like a real genuine person. So that's kind of how I went about finding H3H3, and that's just his like I would say his normal channel where he just posts different types of videos every once in a while, and it's kind of hard to categorize his videos. They're so like random. I would just call it like entertainment. He's just funny as fuck. The dude is hilarious. He does videos with his wife Yola. They just had a kid. Congratulations to them. I doubt they're even fucking watching this. But what I've been really getting into recently is they have a podcast channel where him and his wife Yola, where they talk about all sorts of different shit. And what actually got me into really watching that podcast is my brother, because he watches it all the fucking time. Like literally whenever he's fucking over here, and he's always just playing that. I always hear it in the other room. So that kind of like pushed me to start watching his podcast. Like I already knew who H3 was, but then I started watching his podcast, and shit's entertaining, you know. I'm sure if you've been watching this video till this point, you can tell that I'm a big fan of podcasts, you know. It obviously depends on the person, but I think that H3 is a genuine dude. I think he's real as fuck. I agree with him on not obviously everything. Everyone has some disagreements on some things, but I agree with him on a lot of shit, and I just think that overall he's a good dude and makes great content, and I just like that he's real as fuck with his supporters, and just, you know, and he's also not afraid to call shit out. That's one thing that I respect. He's called a lot of bullshit out, and he's good at it, you know, and he addresses a lot of the problems with YouTube, and all. I feel like I'm so bad at that shit. I hate, because I feel like I'm complaining and I don't know how to fucking word it right, you know, but he's just all around a great YouTuber. If you don't know who he is, I would definitely recommend watching him, but like I said, if you probably already know who he is. And last but not least, so the reason he's actually on the bottom of the list, you know, I'm just going down, is because I just found him actually recently, a few days ago. His name is Rossmann. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but he's like another technology YouTube channel where he has like a microscope. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's doing a whole bunch of different shit, and you guys are probably wondering, what am I doing watching videos about that? But what he does is, not only apart from him doing that, because that's what his channel's based around, is technology, he has a lot of these videos where he just talks about shit, gives advice, and just kind of gives his opinion on a lot of things. And honestly, it sticks out to me because in 2019, everyone has a fucking opinion nowadays, and watching him, I actually like listening to his opinion, because the dude's actually seems like a well-rounded person, seems intelligent. I know I'm using a lot of the same words for a lot of these people I look up to, but that's just the best words I can use to describe these people that I look up to and watch. Even though I know I just found him a few days ago, and I can't say that I've been watching him for super long, and I know a lot about him, but just going through his channel and based off the videos I've watched, I've been able to really relate, and a lot of stuff that he said hits home. You guys can probably tell by now, I like a lot of videos about self-improvement because I think it's something important, but what Lewis does in a lot of his videos, he gives advice and he just talks about a lot of important things. And one of the first video that I found from him that really caught my attention was, I almost didn't click on it, I was like, what a weird title, but it was like, why you shouldn't scream at your children, and fucking clicked on it. And the video just kind of started off of him talking about he owns a business and he has a store, and somehow some woman came in and she had a child with him, and she was just fucking screaming, and he just went on to talk about how that really can affect a child in their life in the future. And I know this is a channel about weed and all that shit, but like, believe it or not, your childhood is one of the most important parts of your life. It carves who you are as a human, you know what I'm saying? You can go through a lot of things as a child, but then have it affect you later on, and you're gonna have to overcome those things later in the future. Like, you can have things happen to you as a child that are really gonna affect you for the rest of your life, and there's a lot of people who go through traumas as a kid that now, when they're adults, they have to work on getting past that and not letting that certain trauma affect them in their life. But yeah, he kind of brought light to that subject, and that was the first video that I found from him. And then from there, you know how YouTube works, when you find someone, a lot of their other videos are gonna show up. So I started going and watching a bunch of his different videos, and the dude just seems really fucking smart, and he just seems like a good person. I like people that are trying to help others and are genuine. One thing I thought that was unique about him is when he was talking about, because he has a lot of videos that's kind of directed about videos about childhood and just, you know, shit like that. He has a very good memory of his childhood, which I feel like I have pretty good memory of my childhood. Like, sometimes I can't remember what I had for dinner the night before, but I can remember weird things from my childhood. And he just points out a lot of things that I can definitely agree with. Like, a lot of people think that kids are stupid. Like, this is one thing he said, and they think that they don't understand things or they don't hear things. All kids are pretty much little adults who are just fucking ignorant, you know, they're very new to the world. And a lot of people don't give kids enough credit, and I think he really brought light upon that, because, for example, what he was talking about in the video about people yelling at their children, a lot of people use the excuse like, oh, little Timmy over here doesn't even understand what I'm talking about, he's whatever, and it's like, no, that's not the case. Like, little Timmy does understand what the fuck you're saying. And that's just one of the small things that he's mentioned in, like, his videos. And like I said, I have not even seen a lot of them, I've just seen a few, but I definitely thought he was worth mentioning, because the amount that I have seen and what I have seen, it's like, wow, this is someone that I feel like is going to be on my list that I'm going to be watching a lot in the future. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be watching a lot of his microscope scope tech tutorials. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, or maybe if somehow it'll help me in the future and I can apply it to my life, who knows. But other than that, I just think he's a good speaker. I like the way he talks, and I think he just sheds light upon a lot of things that need to be talked about. And one last thing about him I don't want to forget is the way that he explains and talks about things. He does it in a way that you can relate to him. Like, for example, he'll tell stories from his past and really get into detail and explain to you why this, like if he's making a point, he'll explain, if this happens, this is why this will happen, you know. Like he explains his points very thoroughly, you know. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go check my list real quick and make sure I didn't forget anyone. Yeah, that's it. I have a feeling this is gonna be a lot more of a longer video, but yeah, I definitely thought this was a video worth doing because these are a lot of people that I look up to, I watch, and it's just a big part of my life. Like, I watch YouTube all the time, and I can't tell you, my life would be so different because the amount of videos and entertainment and of shit that I've learned to do from YouTube is just like fucking insane. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, you know. I'm gonna take one last hit before I get out of here just because I think I only took 2 on camera. My camera actually stopped because I had so much fucking filmed and I had to transfer it over to my fucking computer, so while that was loading I took another hit. So, but I'm gonna take another one. Cheers, y'all. Come on, yo. This lighter's been acting up. Again. Alright, y'all, so I think we're gonna call it a video. If you guys watched to this point, thank you so much. I know this was a lot of a longer video. Like I said, I haven't uploaded it yet or edited it yet, so I don't really know the exact time, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe go check out some of the other videos. OG out.